alerts to find out which discussions online you want to join. And rather than searching endless blogs, you can have that come to your inbox in the very specific areas where you're in. For me, that might be middle grade or humorous novels, and I can find those locations and be part of the discussion.
I think what really helps me is to know that this is a process, and there was an awful lot of information, but I can just take it step by step, and I don't feel at all overwhelmed knowing that I don't have to do it all at once.
I feel like I went on Twitter, I went from going, what, to, oh, I get it.
Oh, there's so much. I learned all the trials and errors and pitfalls and successes of virtual school visits in a way that I hadn't really grasped fully before, and that by itself was tremendous fun. But there's so much more about even just great ways to connect and what to do and strategies to try that just never come up before.
Really what I've learned most of all is that there's like an unlimited number of options for creativity to get out there and connect with people, to offer up what you know and your experience, and at the same time to benefit from all the other people who are out there who are doing the same.
I've learned that while there's an awful lot of ways you can go, different ways to approach, you don't have to do it all at once. Start with one thing, get comfortable with it, and then go on to the next level that appeals to you.
You always learn something new. What I learned was Greg made a good point about going to blogs to comment, and we currently have a blog comment challenge, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to go and comment on 5 different blogs a day, just to build community. I think it's a good idea.
Well, I learned a lot about Twitter. I learned how to use Hooter, that gave me a big space. Hootsuite. Oh, thank you, Hooters. Owly, which is another little part to shorten this.
I learned how to set up a blog, but incorporate it into my website.
It's been really interesting. I've learned a lot about blogging, and I'm getting ready to set up my first blog, so I'm excited about that.
Well, there's so much. That's why I'm thinking, because there's so much. I learned how to Skype, which I've never done before, and that sounds like a lot of fun, and I think I'm going to try it sometime.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Well, I've learned that it's a very complicated thing, and my secret, I think, is to keep it simple.
Well, I've learned that it's actually a very friendly community. At certain times I've been intimidated by doing, self-promotion through the cybernet.
I've learned to be experimental, to engage in social media through a process of trial and error and not expect it to be perfect the first time.
What I mainly learned was, to get rid of some of the fear and anxiety that I've had about social media.
That there is definitely a difference between creative writers and techie people. And I learned that working together we can create wonderful things like book trailers.
I learned that I can probably do it.
Excellent. Thank you.
I'm excited about Hootsuite, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to learn a little bit more about how I can make that work for me to publish to many different areas at once.
I've learned that blogging is a process that I can revise and revise and revise, and I've gotten my focus on what I want to do much better.
Well, the main thing is I'm not as frightened to attempt it now.